Your life is a kingdom, and right now it is on the verge of collapse. You are not its ruler. You are its subject. Your territory is invaded daily by armies of distraction. Your treasury is drained by impulsive decisions, and your throne sits empty, occupied one moment by fear, the next by laziness, the next by the fleeting promise of comfort. You make plans for conquest, the early morning, the disciplined diet, the focused work. But when the moment of battle arrives, your own soldiers, your own habits turn against you. You have been deceived into believing that discipline is a feeling, a spark of motivation you must wait for. But what if discipline was not a feeling, but a weapon? A cold, hard, strategic tool of power. In the next few minutes, the most feared political thinker in history, Niccolò Machiavelli, is going to show you how to stop being a subject in your own life and become its prince. And by the end of this video, you will not only understand why your current approach to discipline is designed to fail, but you will also have a brutal, practical, and strategic framework to build an internal fortress so powerful that your own weaknesses will have no choice but to surrender. This is not about motivation. This is about power. Part 1. The Ungoverned Kingdom. Imagine your mind is a city-state, a small kingdom surrounded by rivals. This kingdom is you. Your thoughts are your advisors. Your emotions are your populace. And your habits are your army. Every day, you, the ruler, must make decisions that will either lead your kingdom to prosperity or to ruin. But you are not ruling. When the alarm rings in the morning, it is not you, the prince, who decides to rise. It is the voice of comfort, a treacherous advisor who whispers, "Just 5 more minutes." And you obey. When a difficult task appears on your desk, it is not you who commands your army of habits to attack. It is the feeling of overwhelm, a populist uprising that demands you seek refuge in the distraction of your phone. You are a king in name only. Your throne is empty. And an empty throne is an invitation to chaos. This is the core of Machiavelli's brutal insight. He looked at the states of 16th century Italy and saw a truth that is as real today as it was then. A state without a strong, disciplined ruler is not a free state. It is a state waiting to be conquered. The same is true for your inner world. If you do not impose order on yourself, an external force will. Your attention will be governed by algorithms. Your desires will be governed by marketers. And your time will be governed by the demands of others. Machiavelli saw that the world does not reward good intentions. It rewards effective action. You have been taught that discipline is a moral virtue, a matter of being a good person. This is a lie. For Machiavelli, discipline is not about morality. It is about survival. It is the strategic foundation of all power. Without it, the prince is no different from the peasant. Both are slaves to circumstance. He writes in The Prince that the stability of a state is merely a reflection of the good order of its militias. This is a profound psychological principle. The order in your life, your finances, your relationships, your career, is a direct reflection of the order within your own mind. You cannot conquer the world if you cannot conquer your own impulses. You cannot lead others if you cannot lead yourself. Most people live like decaying cities. Their defenses are down, their soldiers are untrained, and their gates are wide open to the first temptation that comes along. They are ruled by the loudest voice in their head, the strongest craving, the most immediate feeling. They are, in Machiavellian terms, politically dead. They just haven't been buried yet. This is not a comfortable truth. It is a declaration of war. A war against the part of you that wants to remain weak, that wants to blame circumstances, that wants to believe that one day motivation will magically arrive and save you. Machiavelli did not write to console. He wrote to arm. He knew that the human spirit is a battlefield. And on this battlefield, there are only two choices. You can be the disciplined commander who leads your forces to victory, or you can be the casualty of your own internal chaos. To build a life of power and freedom, you must first stop being a citizen in your own kingdom and start being its prince. You must be willing to do what is necessary, not just what is pleasant. You must be willing to be the strategist, the general, and the ruler of your own mind. Because if you don't, someone or something else will, and they will not have your best interests at heart. Part 2. Virtù against Fortuna. So, you are the ruler of a kingdom, but this kingdom does not exist in a vacuum. It is constantly battered by a powerful, unpredictable, and utterly indifferent force. Machiavelli called this force fortuna, fortune, luck, chance. We have been taught to think of luck as a gentle muse, something to be wished for. For Machiavelli, Fortuna was no muse. She was a raging river, a violent storm that could, in an instant, wash away everything you've built. She is the unexpected job loss, the sudden illness, the market crash, the betrayal. She is the chaos of the universe, and she is merciless to the unprepared. Most people have a childish relationship with Fortuna. They either pray for her favor or curse her when she turns against them. They live their lives like someone who has built a house of sticks on the bank of a river, hoping the flood never comes. Machiavelli called this folly. He wrote, "I hold that it is better to be impetuous than cautious, because fortune is a woman, and if you wish to keep her under it, it is necessary to beat and ill-use her." This is not a literal instruction. It is a powerful metaphor for a proactive, aggressive stance against the randomness of life. You do not wait for the flood. You build dikes. You do not hope for a calm sea. You learn to sail in a storm. This is where the concept of virtù comes in. And it is the most important weapon in the Machiavellian arsenal. Virtù is not virtue in the moral, Christian sense of being good or kind. Virtù is martial power. It is skill, strength, courage, and strategic intelligence. It is your ability to impose your will onto the world, to shape circumstances rather than be shaped by them. It is the strength of the dikes you build. It is the skill of the sailor at the helm. Virtù is discipline in action. While Fortuna is the storm, Virtù is the fortress. While Fortuna is the chaos, Virtù is the order you impose. A person of Virtù does not depend on luck. They create their own. They do not blame circumstances for their failures. They see every obstacle as an opportunity to exercise their strength and intelligence. Look at your own life with this brutal lens. How many times have you used bad luck as an excuse? The timing wasn't right. I didn't have the right connections. The economy is bad. These are the excuses of the man without virtù. The man of virtù says, the timing is not right, therefore I will make it right. I do not have the connections, therefore I will build them. The economy is bad, therefore I will find the opportunity that others are too scared to see. Great men for Machiavelli are not those whom Fortuna favors. They are those who, through sheer force of their virtù, bend Fortuna to their will. They train for war in times of peace. They build their internal fortress brick by brick, day by day, through relentless, monotonous, and unglamorous discipline, so that when the storm of Fortuna inevitably arrives, they are not washed away. They are ready. This is the great divide in humanity. There are those who are subjects of Fortuna, and there are those who are masters of virtù, those who wait and those who build, those who hope and those who act. Your potential, your dreams, your ambitions, they are worthless without the container of virtù to protect them. They are just castles in the sand, waiting for the tide. So, the question is not whether the storm will come. It will. The question is whether you will be the one standing on the walls of your fortress, watching the river of Fortuna break against the dikes you have built, or whether you will be the one swept away, cursing a fate you did nothing to prevent. The choice is yours, and it is made not in the moment of crisis, but in the quiet, disciplined moments of every single day. Part 3. The modern lie of discipline. You have been sold a lie. A comfortable, marketable, and utterly useless lie. The lie is that discipline is a habit you can install, a life hack you can learn, a productivity app you can download. The modern world has turned discipline into a self-help product, wrapped in colorful packaging and sold with the promise of an effortless transformation. Just find your why. Just make it easy. Just reward yourself. Machiavelli would have laughed at this naivety. He knew that true discipline is not born from comfort. It is forged in fire. It is not about making things easy. It is about making yourself hard. You fail at discipline because you have been conditioned to seek the path of least resistance. You believe that if you just find the right system, the right planner, the right morning routine, your life will magically click into place. But you are trying to build a fortress out of paper. Real discipline is not a habit. It is a war against the weakest, laziest, and most cowardly parts of yourself. And you are losing this war because you are fighting with the wrong weapons. You are trying to negotiate with an enemy that only understands force. When you try to motivate yourself to go to the gym, you are negotiating. When you reward yourself for an hour of work, you are negotiating. When you forgive yourself for hitting the snooze button just this once, you are negotiating. And every time you negotiate, you lose. You are telling the weakest part of your mind that it has a voice, that its comfort is a priority. Machiavellian discipline is not a negotiation. It is a decree. It is the prince issuing an order to his army. The army does not debate the order. It does not ask if it feels motivated to follow the order. It follows the order because the alternative is ruin. Your mind must become your army, and you must become its general. This means you must abandon the modern obsession with feeling good. The goal is not to feel motivated. The goal is to act, regardless of how you feel. The soldier does not run 5 kilometers in the rain because he is inspired. He runs because that is the order. He runs because the pain of the run is less than the pain of the consequence of not running. You must create consequences. This is the part of the Machiavellian formula that our modern, comfortable world cannot stomach. We have been taught to be endlessly kind to ourselves, to forgive our failures instantly. This is a recipe for weakness. In the real world, failure has a cost. In war, a mistake is not a learning opportunity. It is a death sentence. If you fail to follow your own orders, there must be a price. A real, tangible, painful price. Not a symbolic one, not a gentle reminder. A price that your mind will learn to fear more than it fears the discomfort of the disciplined act itself. This is not about self-hatred. It is about strategic self-mastery. It is about understanding the brutal mechanics of your own mind. Your brain is a survival machine. It is designed to avoid pain and seek pleasure. Therefore, you must strategically attach pain to the actions you want to avoid and associate the long-term victory with the short-term discomfort. Stop looking for the right hack. Stop waiting for the right feeling. Stop negotiating with your own weakness. Start building your fortress. Start training your army. Start creating consequences. Because the discipline that builds empires, both internal and external, is not found in a self-help book. It is found in the cold, hard, and unwavering will of the prince who refuses to be a subject in his own kingdom. Part 4. The Prince's Routine. Theory is for the classroom. Victory is for the battlefield. It is time to turn this philosophy into a brutal, daily and inflexible practice. A routine so structured that it leaves no room for your weakness to breathe. This is not a list of tips. This is a war plan. 1. The dawn inspection. Constant vigilance. A wise prince inspects his defenses every day, especially in times of peace. Your first act upon waking must be an act of strategic self-observation. Before you look at your phone, before you are invaded by the demands of the world, you must inspect your own mind. Ask yourself, where are the gaps in my fortress? Where did I fail yesterday? What small habit of laziness, what minor excuse did I allow to pass? Do not do this with judgment, but with the cold, analytical eye of a general. A small crack in the wall, if left untended, will become the breach through which the enemy army pours. An act of procrastination is not a small failure, it is a catapult aimed at your own walls. You must identify these weaknesses and plan your defense for the day ahead. This is not meditation. This is a war council with yourself. 2. The commander's decree. Eliminate the decision. Your brain is a cognitive miser. It will always choose the path of least resistance. Every decision you have to make drains your willpower. Therefore, the foundation of Machiavellian discipline is to eliminate decisions. Your most important actions must not be choices. They must be orders. You do not decide whether to go to the gym. The order has already been given. You do not decide whether to work on your most important task. The decree has already been made. Create a rigid, non-negotiable schedule for your core disciplines. The time you wake up, the hour you train, the block of time for deep work. These are not suggestions, they are laws. Your feelings are irrelevant. Your motivation is irrelevant. The law is the law. A rigid routine is not a prison. It is the ultimate freedom. It frees you from the exhausting daily battle of negotiation with your weaker self. 3. The price of treason. Relentless reinforcement. This is the step that separates the prince from the peasant. You must create real, immediate, and painful consequences for failing to follow your own laws. If you break your routine, if you fail to execute your orders, you have committed an act of treason against your own kingdom. And treason must have a price. Establish a public commitment. Tell a friend, a mentor, a rival what you intend to do, and tell them the price you will pay if you fail. Donate a significant amount of money to a cause you despise. Forgo a pleasure you cherish. Perform a task you loathe. The price must be high enough that your mind, in its cost-benefit analysis, concludes that the pain of the discipline is preferable to the pain of the consequence. This is not about punishment for the sake of punishment. It is about training your mind. It is about teaching the animal part of your brain that failure is not an option. It is about understanding that discipline is not just about the pursuit of reward, but about the strategic avoidance of ruin. This is the path. It is not easy. It is not comfortable. It is, however, effective. You have been living as a subject for too long. You have been waiting for permission, waiting for motivation, waiting for the perfect moment. But the prince does not wait. The prince decides. The prince acts. The prince governs. Your kingdom is waiting for its ruler. Your throne is empty. Will you step up and claim it? Or will you continue to be a well-meaning but ultimately powerless citizen in the only life you will ever have? The choice for now is still yours, but Fortuna's river is always rising, and it does not wait for anyone. Now go to war. Let's make this concrete. The modern approach tells you to use an app to track your habits, giving you a little digital star for every day you succeed. This is a reward system for a child. A Machiavellian approach is to give a trusted friend $500 and tell them to burn it if you fail to send them a photo of you at the gym every day for a month. One of these creates a pleasant feeling. The other creates a visceral, strategic fear of failure. One of these builds a sandcastle. The other forges a sword. The modern lie is that you can become strong through comfort. Machiavelli's truth is that you can only become strong through controlled, strategic hardship. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And a system without consequences is not a system at all. It's a suggestion. And the prince does not deal in suggestions.